Dough.
Moolah.
Pesos.
Cream. Dinero. Folding stuff.
Whatever you call it, it's getting harder to find. Payment guru Lance Blockley reckons just 10% of all transactions will be cash-based by 2025. That's down from 24% pre-pandemic.
For some time, the use of cash has been going down, and the COVID pandemic just accelerated those trends.
If you've ever tapped and gone, the appeal is obvious.
Easy.
But for every Neville Bartos,
There's no cash here. Here, there's no cash.
there are still a few choppers out there.
Cash.
And it's not just underworld types keeping it cash-based. Rural and migrant communities, older Australians, they're all big fans.
We have millions of immigrants and seniors and children. They're not fantastic with usage of technology. And a lot of migrants, they may not rely on a bank. They don't trust the bank.
One of the things we've got to make sure is that nobody gets left behind. And you can see in things like the Lismore floods, when all the electricity goes down, you need cash.
I always come across to so many people that they're securing cash because they're going through a lot of conflict in the family. The cash itself gives a power in terms of a woman to financially be independent. Cash pretty much is a form of freedom.
So will predictions of a cash-free society
Robbo? No cash.
ever come to pass?
I hope not. I like cash, and I know that it's causing all sorts of problems for the Tooth Fairy. She's told me she's having big issues. But do you remember back in the olden days, you could go through the ashtray of your parents' car and find so much money, or down the side of the couch? It doesn't happen anymore.
I still look down the couch. I mean, there's never been money there for years, but I'm still hopeful. I'm still living off that from when I was a kid.
I only ever found ash in my parents'.
You weren't looking hard enough. And ATMs, where are they these days?
I know.
You can barely find them.
And apparently, I hadn't thought of it like this, but actual cash is really good for people who are blind because of the braille and stuff.
Course, yeah.
So this is all very confusing to some Australians who have learned to use cash that way.
Well, and people who really need it, the people I always think about are homeless people, because there's no tap and go in that situation. So if no one's it's not like cash is going to become illegal.
Yeah.
That's not the issue. It's just more where if no one's carrying it, then what happens there?
I think as well about, my grandparents' generation, and they have gone in one lifetime from cash being the currency to it all being electronic. And just last week, my grandfather, who's 95 years old, he got one of the text messages that said, put your bank details in. So he did. This was over New Year. And he did it because that's what you do now. And he was scammed tens of thousands of dollars in an instant. And it's really complicated how you then deal with it because those bank details were handed over. And I feel as though there's no sort of public service announcements or literacy or any way of letting this generation know how to understand this new currency. People are being left behind.
Yes, and it's so much easier to scam people like that. In the old days, you'd have to knock on the door, come up with an elaborate story and say, will you please hand me $10,000?
Yeah.
No one would do that.
Yeah, exactly right.
Look, if my nan is watching, by the way, I want her to know that I'm still accepting cash for my birthdays. So don't think that I'm, please send it through.